Hello and welcome to the Mythic Dwellers Let's Play or playthrough of the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. This is something that I asked you guys if you wanted, you said you did, so we're going straight into it. One thing to note is what difficulty we're playing at. I've lowered the difficulty to about 70%. I normally play between the 80 to 85% range. So I've lowered it a little bit just to have an easier time, a more relaxed playthrough. My goal for this is to have a nice relaxed game so that I can provide a strong commentary and not have to focus on my leveling and my gear and what weapons I'm using at what time for my skills and stuff, because efficient leveling is something that you have to do on the higher difficulties, and that's one of the reasons I'm not doing a max difficulty playthrough. I did try, and the end result was just a game, an intro tutorial episode where there was next to no commentary because I was focusing so much on what I was doing, and I just felt it was boring, because I don't enjoy 100% difficulty, and it didn't provide an enjoyable or entertaining video. So I lowered it down to about 70%. We'll leave it on like this kind of area. It doesn't really matter. And that'll be fine for that. Now going through, this episode's gonna I'll explain a bit more this episode, what I'm planning on doing into the future. I'm gonna talk about how the series will work and kind of the ideas I have for it and what I want to do with those, as well as I'm going to cover some more the more basic concepts this episode, whereas in the future I'm probably not going to do that as much. But this episode and probably the next episode, I'll really explain how to start the game and kind of what to do there. Now, without further ado, let's begin. Don't worry, I'm just screwing with you guys. We're going to be playing Oblivion. I just thought it'd be funny to throw the Skyrim intro in here and just kind of have a shot at some of those Skyrim memes. Let's get straight into the actual Oblivion intro.
I was born 87 years ago. For 65 years, I've ruled as Tamriel's emperor. But for all these years, I've never been the ruler of my own dreams. I have seen the gates of Oblivion, beyond which no waking eye may see. Behold, in darkness, a doom sweeps the land. This is the 27th of last seed, the year of Akatosh 433. These are the closing days of the third era and the final hours of my life.
Oblivion game intro is one of the best introductions to an RPG game that I have ever seen, and I love it. I enjoy it every time, and it always gets me in the mood when I watch it. It's just great. One thing to notice is whenever you see any NPCs in the intro in the Imperial City, the scale to the city is, in my opinion, it looks wrong. It makes, you see the guard there, he just looks really big, or should I say, it makes the city look a lot smaller than it actually is. But that's just my opinion on the intro to the game. Still one of the greatest intros of any game ever. Awesome. Alright, so now we're in the character creation screen. So, for mods, I don't really have anything special installed. I just have the graphic mods that are installed in my graphic mod installation tutorial. So, if you guys are wondering what I have installed, that's it. I don't have anything else installed. I'm planning on having one new mod installed every single playthrough. So, or every single episode, should I say. So, I don't have anything special installed in this episode, but starting in the next one, I'll have a unique mod installed, whether it be, for example, like the Fallout 4 loot menu mod, and then I might remove that. In the next episode, I could bring another one, like an anime fighting death sequence or something like that. You know, there's tons of different cool mods for Oblivion. I'll try and showcase a new one every time, and then I'll probably remove it at the end, because at the end of the episode, so that for stability reasons, right, so that the game doesn't become super crashy and stuff. Because I find Oblivion, no matter what I do, will always be a crashy game with lots of mods installed. So to start it off, we need to pick a race. I don't really have much of an opinion. I'm just going to go with a kind of an easy playthrough. I think a Breton would be best. They have, in my opinion, the Breton is probably the strongest race in the game. Well, specifically for higher difficulty playthroughs. The natural resistance to spells, natural resistance to magical energies is extremely useful. I'm just going to randomize the character. I personally don't mind what they look like, but we'll see if we can get something half decent in here. That's not great. It's not too bad either. We'll pick out some. There we are. Windbread is usually what I go with. The hair color is fine, and let's just jump right into it. Okay, so let's start by instigating the conversation with this guy.
Snotty expression. You're a Breton. The masters of Magica, right? Nothing but a bunch of stuck-up snobs with cheap parlor tricks. Go ahead. Try your Magica in here. Let's see you make those bars disappear. No? What's the matter? Not so powerful now, are you, Breton?
Okay, I love the it's Valen Breath, right? I can't see his name from here, but I love his introductions because each character has a different introduction, which is absolutely great. No matter what race you select, let's just set these up real quick. Just 2 quick hotkeys.
You're not leaving this prison till
the introduction
they
is
throw
different,
your
which
body in the
it changes the playthroughs. Just the tutorial part every time, right? That way you're never playing this exact same thing again. I remember the first time I played Oblivion, one of the first things I did was replay this tutorial section just to hear the different things he said for the different races, to see if he was a dick to everyone, which he is. No matter what race you select, he's an ass. But I was trying to see if, no matter what race I picked, if there was any way to make him happy and be a nice guy. And I love his character, and I love some of the future quests that involve him.
Usual mix-up with the watch.
Never mind. Get that gate open. Stand back, prisoner. We won't hesitate to kill you if you get in our way.
No sign of Stay put, prisoner.
Good. Let's go. We're not out of this yet.
You. I've seen you. Let me see your face. You are the one from my dreams. Then the stars were right. And this is the day. Gods give me strength.
I love Patrick Stewart being cast as Uriel Septim. It's such a good cast. It just sucks that the Emperor, what happens to the Emperor later in the tutorial. I'm going to say right now, spoiler alert for the entire game. I'm probably going to be talking about quests further on. I don't want to have to hold myself back about things. So just so you guys know, be aware that some of the quests, if you haven't completed them, will be spoiled before or while we're doing them. Now, one thing I'm planning on doing is just skipping through the tutorial text and the conversations. Just kind of clicking through them really quickly. Because everyone's seen it, everyone's heard it before. However, if you guys want to me to read out the conversation pieces and listen to the conversations in the future quests, let me know in the comments. We can do that completely. I have no issues. I have no issues with doing that. That's not a problem at all. But for the tutorial, I'm just going to skip through it just because everyone's heard this 1,000 times before.
Please, sire, we must keep moving.
The tone that's set in the beginning of the game is perfect. It really shows kind of what's going on. It sets an initial bond with the Emperor, even though it teases you that he's going to die. It sets a great bond with him. Like, he's the only one out of the 3 that trusts you. It gets you to like his character quickly. It does pretty much what like Game of Thrones or any strong TV show does. Which is have you connect to one of the characters before they kill them off, which is brilliant story writing. One of the fun things I like to do in Oblivion at the beginning, let's see if I can get there in time, is talk to the assassins as they come through the door. You can actually unlock this if you're on PC and go in there and have a conversation with them all, just in a little box room, but you can usually snag a conversation with 1 or 2 of them as they come out.
Make it quick.
There's nothing useful that comes of this, but I just think it's a fun little Easter egg you can do.
I saw a wraith once. It threw a curse on me I'll never forget.
So, just a good way to get some pointless facts at the beginning of the game. On pretty much any level difficulty, you want to avoid contact with the assassins because they do so much more damage. And you'll see later. Pick up the sword there. You'll do like 1-2 damage to them, and whereas the blades do like 100 damage to them. You want to loot all the bodies at the beginning of the game for potions, obviously. They're extremely useful in the later of the game.
How could they be waiting for us here?
Don't know, but it's too late to go back now. Don't worry, Sai. We will get you out of here.
They won't be the first to underestimate the blades. I'll take point. Let's move.
Okay, so let's pull out a weapon. We may as well use the katana while we're here. There's no benefit to not using it. And then I picked up the steel short sword. I know you can get. I think it's an iron longsword you can get later in the tutorial. I can't remember that much, but we'll see. So the rats are gonna come through the wall here. If you're on a higher difficulty, even these, like on max difficulty, these rats here, the fight is extremely difficult, even though it's like the first engagement you get into. So by jumping up to here, you can kind of get away with that. They can't do any damage, and you can just kind of cast spells on them to kill them. Destruction magic does the most damage, really, in the early game. But if you're playing on the highest difficulty, then you need to efficiently level, which is something I despise. Did I loot the wrong rat first? I did. Which is something I despise. So I'm not going to be doing that in this playthrough. I apologize if that's what you were looking for, but I hate doing it. It requires too much time and focus. We'll snag up the axe there in case I want to level blunt a little later. I'm going to try to level a little bit efficiently, but like I said, don't expect master leveling, because 1, I suck at it, and 2, I just don't find it enjoyable, and I want this playthrough to be something that I enjoy doing, as well as something you guys enjoy watching. To use your bow, so this tutorial is actually really fun. It's great the way it explains it. A lot of people don't read the tutorial, and to prove that, if you knew, whoops, I let go of my mouse button there. If you shoot the bucket, you actually get a prompt. And if you've never seen this before, this is just proof that you've never read the tutorial before. You get a nice shot prompt if you shoot the bucket with an arrow. Let's loot the rat for rat meat. Rat meat's good for anti-fatigue poisons. Alchemy is extremely important in Oblivion. I don't think I did this chest here either. I should probably read that since I have no idea how to lockpick at all, and I haven't made a tutorial on lockpicking. But yeah, I pretty much know where the majority of the loot is in the tutorial. If I miss something, let me know, because I'd love to know where it is. I don't normally play through the tutorial anymore. I have a save with the Breton that I've made, so if I want to do a high level difficulty, set up at the end in the tunnel. So I just made a save at the end of the tunnel, so I don't have to play through this every time. Which, if you play a lot of Oblivion, that's something you'll end up doing. Oh, I just missed him. Never mind, I must have missed him by a lot. You've got to be kidding me. I can never hit anyone correctly whenever I want to. Gotta see if I can find those again. So I haven't really decided what kind of playstyle I'm gonna go for in this playthrough. I think I'm just gonna go for kind of a standard, like, one-handed playthrough, but we'll see. We might have a reasonably decent time. I'm gonna pick this up. I'll probably drop it later. What's the armor rating between the two? I should probably switch to leather armor, throw the shield up and stuff. I'll try and keep all the armor in the early game, and then we can sell it straight away the second we get out of the tutorial. Make some good money. We did that already. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. I'm going to press that, and I may as well put a torch on also. One thing you'll find is that I suck with a mouse and keyboard, and I'm going to hit the wait key a lot, the T key. I'm going to do damage to turn him around, and then hopefully they'll engage the zombie there. The zombie does a lot of damage. Actually, I'm not too, I lower the difficulty, so don't quote me exactly on how much damage it does, but I don't really want to find out. Let's see here. Oh yeah. Not that the undead are difficult to fight. You can just kind of sidestep them really easily, actually. But still, the mort flesh is a really good pick up as well. These rats are great because you get the rat meat without having to fight. Awesome. So, as I mentioned it earlier, alchemy is actually really, really important at higher level difficulties. And if it's something you've avoided, which at lower levels you can completely avoid alchemy very easily. I could have swore that arrow went right through the rat. I'm telling you right now, I am a lot better at archery than this tutorial video is making me out to be, as I fight through the tutorial here. Okay. Okay, this is a lot closer than I thought it would be. Oh, I can't hit anything today. There we go. I've lost a lot of magicka, I've lost a lot of health and fatigue, so if you just wait for an hour, it actually regens it, which is, in the high level difficulty playthroughs, that's something you'll learn to do a lot, because you need to watch what you're leveling, like the skills you're leveling, so you don't want to level restoration too much, so by waiting, it kind of saves those skill points to level up later. Take the rat meat. The torch, put the sword away, pick up a torch. So yeah, alchemy. Alchemy is amazing. I love it. On a high difficulty playthrough, even in tutorial, it's pretty much required to kill a lot of the goblins, because the damage of poisons doesn't scale through the difficulty of the game, right? So I could set the difficulty to 100. It's still gonna do this. Poison's still gonna do the same amount of damage as if I had the difficulty set to 0. So, I guess I'm gonna have to fight these guys before I loot the... Before I loot the chest here. Oh! And there we go. Easy, boys. Okay. There's normally nothing too interesting in... Oh, boy. Normally nothing too interesting in this chest, but we'll see how it goes. One, two, three. There we go. There should be some more rats on the other side here, but there's some better equipment on the ground here as well. So this shield's good. The helmet, there is. That's good too. The warhammer is a better blunt. I think it's two-handed, isn't it? Warhammer. No, it's still blunt. Two-handed blunt. Not that I use blunt much. Let's see. Helmets. And there we go. Oh, I need to change my boots. Are there any boots over here? I don't think there is. May as well pick up all the little bits, you know, because the cheese and the dead skulls, it really adds to the buildability. The buildability? That's another thing. Really adds to the game. So, I was going to prove to you how easy sneak is to level up. I can literally just walk against this wall here and it will level up because there's a rat right there, and I can do this the entire tutorial and have level 100 sneak by the end of the tutorial. That's not... Don't do that. That's not a good idea. With the way that leveling works in Oblivion, that's actually a horrible idea. Apparently there's another enemy nearby. I'm just going to back off so I can wait to heal. That's a terrible idea. You're going to end up with a very unbalanced character that way, with the way Oblivion leveling works. But that being said, I was going to prove how easy a lot of the skills are to level up, which makes efficient leveling so much harder, so much more difficult, because you got to focus on everything you do so much more. You got to focus on like how much you're sneaking and stuff. Grab these septums over here. So, at the time of making this, the Oblivion teaser trailer just came out a couple days ago, last week sometime, I think, or maybe it was a couple weeks ago now. I think it was like the beginning of last week. Looks amazing. To my knowledge, it's only the main quest line of the game. Don't quote me on that. I do not know that for sure. But I think it'll be really good, and I can't wait to play it. I'm gonna do a playthrough as long as this series does well. I'm gonna do a playthrough of Sky Oblivion as well. That'll be it was so much fun to see the differences and how things have changed between the original game and with Skyrim. A lot of, from what I can tell, a lot of the things in Oblivion are going to be very Skyrim based, just with like in the Oblivion area. I've got to loot all of these. Too bad. This stuff's all important for making poisons and health potions. So don't give up on it. I don't underestimate, should I say, how important looting is. Looting the little things is in the game. Oh, I'm already over encumbered. Let's see. Sort by value. Are we at here? 196. I don't know how that doesn't alert the AI. I guess it's just how advanced the Oblivion AI is. I should keep my equipment out so I don't die. Instead of walking around with a torch so much. Because I am going to die because I don't pay attention to my health enough. Rat meat, don't want to avoid that. It's a brilliant find and an even better quick sell. Let's see here. I'm not getting, oh, there we go. I was just about to say, I'm not getting too much. Oh, so Stinkhorn here, this is what you need for poisons. And did I just find nothing in all three of these? Oh, thank you. That would have been really bad. I would not have been able to make any decent poisons in this section of the tutorial. So there's a portion of illness down here, I think, which is something that you want to save. But I'll show you its potency anyways. I'll do a I was going to say I'll do a quick save, but there's not really much of a reason to do that. But over here, next to the Mortar Pestle, is a portion of Poison of Illness, which does like, I think it's 10 straight points of damage to an enemy, which may not seem like a lot, but is a lot more than you think, especially in the tutorial. Because the way leveling works, difficulty scaling works in Oblivion is you just do less damage and the enemies just do more damage to you. So the AI still do the same amount of damage to each other. There's a level restoration here a little bit. So they still do the same amount of damage to each other. I'll go back here. So, for example, if you conjure up a skeleton or something, a skeleton. If you conjure up a skeleton, it'll do the same amount of damage that any skeleton would do. Just like if you conjured up a wolf, it would do the same amount of damage any wolf would do, no matter what you're conjuring up, right? I don't think you can conjure up wolves, but that's against the point. So yeah, so basic alchemy tutorial. I'm actually in the middle of making an alchemy tutorial right now, just so you guys kind of have an idea of what's coming up in the future. Naming it really doesn't matter. Anything will fit here. I guess just leaving it as new poison was probably a good idea. Ingredients. So Stinkhorn, and I'm pretty sure it's wisp caps. Yeah. So damage 2 health for 6 seconds. This is a strong potion, however, I don't have any more, so I'm not going to be able to make any more poisons. That being said, we could make like a restore fatigue potion here, which would be nice. Use a tomato and we'll create another one. And then I could probably make a damage fatigue with the rat flesh here. With the mort flesh and rats. Although they're new, that was brilliant. I should just not have named anything at all and it would have taken an automatic name, but at least now we know what it is. So yeah, so potion of illness here. So damage health by 10 points, which may not seem like a lot, but in the tutorial it is a lot. It'll pretty much kill anything straight away with one hit. I need to drop some of this crap that I'm carrying. I'm looting way too much. What are we looking at here? I can probably drop a little bit more. That's not too bad, I think. What about weapons? I don't really need the Iron Warhammer. Let's see what's in the chest here. Gold, lockpicks, and a torch. That's not too bad at all. So, about the entire playthrough as a whole, some kind of ideas and things that I'm thinking of doing for the playthrough. I'm not gonna be numbering the playthrough episodes. I find that just turns people away, and then if you miss an episode, you're gonna feel obligated to watch. You're gonna feel obligated to watch it from the beginning. So if, say, you miss episode 5 and you see I've posted episode 6 or episode 7, you're not gonna want to watch it because you've missed an episode. It's kind of uninviting. So for that reason, I'm gonna wait before I go over that. For that reason, I'm gonna not do the numbered let's plays, and we'll kind of keep it a little bit more loose. Like I said, I don't really want to spend the entire time focusing on it. I want to keep it loose, do what you guys want. You give requests on where you want me to explore. I'll try and find and do unique things every episode. Go to unique places, like maybe the troll under the bridge or something. You know, there's all sorts of cool, unique things in Oblivion, and I want to kind of just showcase them all inside this playthrough. Hopefully, that's something that I'm planning on doing, and I'd love to do with you guys. Other than that, I will try to create fun and unique intros every playthrough. That's something that I did with this one. I did the Skyrim meme, of course. Not that the Skyrim meme's bad. It's not a great one. It's extremely old. I just thought it'd be fun. It's Bethesda themed, and I thought that it would be the best way to do it. Well, that's 17. It's not worth it. Stop it. I'm a loot fanatic, apparently, which is, I say that, but normally I'll walk past a lot of stuff and not care. But apparently in the tutorial, everything matters. I just want to pick everything up. Yeah, so something fun, unique each time. If you got ideas for fun and unique intros, let me know. I'd love to do some of them. Let's see if I can just tag this. Oh, that is not Flare. That'll be fun. That way I can kind of still get the enjoyment of doing editing and stuff. I can do some cinematic intros and kind of things like that. Just kind of not only make the playthroughs themselves a bit more interesting, add something else to the playthrough. Because let's face it, you can go to the Oblivion subreddit, you're gonna find someone saying, "Watch my Oblivion Let's Play." So I just kind of want to make it a little bit more unique and add some more value to it. There we are. And I'm gonna wait to get my Magicka back. So that's just kind of the idea. I'm gonna keep cuts to a minimum. I did a poll. I'll put it on screen, but I found that the majority of you wanted no cuts, or minimum cuts, whereas some of you did want. There should be another goblin in here somewhere. I know there's the shaman over there, but I thought there was like one down here or something. Oh, there it is. I'm just blind. So I'll try and keep cuts to a minimum. I'll probably cut out loading screens if I'm not talking in them, and I'll cut out long travel times if I'm walking to a location. If nothing interesting happens, just to kind of keep it short. But I'll try and keep the majority of the stuff in, and I'll try my best to talk and keep things entertaining. I find myself as, I don't say a non-entertaining person, but I'm not exactly the most entertaining. I should switch and level something else. Actually, never mind. I don't need to efficiently level. I'm doing a fun playthrough, not a Let's Master Oblivion playthrough. So let's use one of the poisons here to kill off this guy. That's the one I made. Let's use the Potion of Illness, so you can see just how strong this is. So I'm going to need to sneak up on him. You want a tip for sneaking early in the game. Lose everything. You will make less noise this way. The armor adds like a noise factor as you're moving, which makes sense. Which is really good, especially for a game of its time. So it's not just the enchantment values that are added in the game by clothing, but the clothing actually makes a difference on how much noise you make. There we go, just like that. See, that's how much damage that poison did. It may not seem like, I don't know, maybe you guys don't think it's a lot, but that fight would have taken a good 5 minutes at least, I'd say. It would have taken a while, let's put it that way, if I didn't have the poison. Repair hammers, that's good for armorer. Armorer's a great major skill because you can kind of control how you use it. Because most people carry around more. I already looted this, right? Most people carry around more than one weapon. So and then if something dies, you don't want to level up your armorer skill. You just take it too, and there we go. Iron longsword. Yeah, I'm gonna drop the steel one. It's great because most people never use repair hammers. So and you can you'll always be able to just go to get the 3 out of this. You'll always be able to go to any store and get any like blacksmith, get it replaced. I guess we are 34. Let's drop 1, and unless I find something of more value, which will probably be potions later on out of the Mythic Dawn cult, I'll try and stop looting. Oh, that should be good. I think there's some crates over here, but there's no need to go over there. I'm out of carry weight. Let's just focus on getting out of the tutorial, selling some stuff, and we'll have a good time. Arrows, of course, and lockpicks. Ah! Come on. I ate that. That was a mistake, and was not what I meant to do. Let's wait to get the health back. Get rid of the drain fatigue effect of the rat poison and move on. So that's pretty much everything I wanted to kind of talk about the overall let's play as a whole. I should put some ammo back on. If you have any ideas of like kind of like what you want to see, then definitely let me know in the comments. I want tons of engagements. I'm doing this not only just for me to enjoy. I screwed up. I didn't jump high enough. I might be able to get up on this bit here. Alas. Yeah, I wanna enjoy playing through it with you guys, and I wanna help you guys, and we can all have fun and enjoy it together, right? Nothing in here. Oh, potion there. Okay, I'm just gonna drop like. Oh, why do I keep eating it? It's because it's shift click, and I never press shift fast enough. Rat meat isn't even that useful.
They cannot understand why I trust
okay.
them.
This is a great addition. Okay, so this is where we get to pick up Birthsign. The best Birthsign in the game, off the top of my head, probably Warrior. Warrior's really good. Thief, where's Thief? Thief's good too. The Acronac is really good as well. If you're not planning on using any spells at all, this is an amazing Birthsign because it's like 50% spell absorption. So 50% of the spells that are coming at you won't do any damage to you. So on a high difficulty playthrough, that means 50% of all attacks. That's not great. Don't quote me on that. That's not right. Of attacks coming from Daedra creatures or in the Daedra fields, will do will do no damage at all. 50% of the incoming damage will be reduced by 50%. Right, half the attacks won't do any damage, which makes it a really good Birthsign. The downside is Magicka doesn't regenerate naturally, which sucks, but that's the case. Thief's really good because it gives a 10-point boost to luck. That's pretty much the main reason why it's good. The boost to speed's nice too, but luck is the major one. And then Warrior's good because of the boost to endurance. And those are my 3 favorite Birthsigns. Some of the most useless Birthsigns. The Tower is pointless because you can unlock any average locked door really easily if you know how to lockpick. The Shadow's useless because invisibility in Oblivion isn't as good as you think. You want the chameleon value, because invisibility will go away the second you interact with anything. Whereas a chameleon percentage, once you get to 100%, you can interact with things and you won't lose the invisibility. So in my opinion, those are the worst. Probably the Tower's definitely the worst, but that's it. What else have we got here? Lady Mage. Yeah, that's it really. Everything else is pretty decent. The Steed's, in my opinion, not the Steed, sorry. The Tower, in my opinion, is the worst. The Steed is pretty good too. The 20-point boost to speed is really good for allowing you to quickly dodge enemy attacks, which is great on high difficulties as well because you can just kind of strafe out of the way for a lot of attacks, which is nice. I'm going to go with the Warrior for the 10-point boost to endurance and strength. This will increase my carry weight, which will allow me to allow me to kind of quench my thirst for looting things, right? Allow me to loot significantly more than I already have.
And
then the endurance. Endurance is such an important attribute. If you haven't watched my attribute video, it's basically.
You may as well.
Great, thank you for the torch. How many torches do I have now? Probably way too many. 14. Yeah.
So let us do our job, and you'll be all right.
Yeah, I'm just gonna let them do all the fighting. But endurance is really important because your health increases by a percentage of your endurance when you level. I can't remember what it is. I think it's 10%. Don't quote me on that. I'm horrible. My memory is horrible. So really don't quote me on that. But basically, your health increases by a percentage of your endurance every time you level. So on level 2, let's say, for example, it's 100%, which is not 100%. But if I level 2, and if it increased by 100% of my endurance, then my health would increase by 40, right? So then instead of being 180, it would be instead of it being 80, it would be 120. And it would increase like that every single level. So by getting your endurance higher earlier, it increases your total amount of health, which makes you stronger in the later game, which is required if you want to have a strong character. Sorry, I'm probably going to just kind of go off on like little rants like that throughout the game. I say rants, tutorial explanations, even things that I've already explained, just to help people. Can I get a... No, I can't. They're going to attack me. Sometimes if you get down here fast enough, you can talk to these assassins as well. Yeah, I'm probably going to go over like small 15, 20 second explanations. I'm not helping the Emperor. I'll get deleted by those assassins. Yeah, I'm just going to go on small off on, I want to say small rants. Oh, okay, this is just causing an issue. Let's just fix that here. Oh, but I want to loot it. Oh, I gotta click off of him to turn collision off on myself to go loot the body. Ooh, that was definitely worth it. TCR. My typing skill is not great. Don't judge. So, yeah, I'll just probably re-explain things. So maybe if you didn't understand it in my original tutorial, or you haven't seen the explanation tutorial guide yet, then it just gives you a kind of a general idea of how it works. If you don't have the time to watch it, a lot of my guides are very long, and I explain things in like extreme detail, because it's not because I think you guys are stupid, not at all. But some things are just, I want everyone to be able to understand it, right? I don't want people who struggle to understand things to miss out on it. So I explain things in a very easy to understand way, so that everyone, no matter who you are or your overall ability to understand technology or the game concepts, is affected, right?
Hold up. I don't like this. Let me take a look.
Out of all of the blades that you start with, Captain Renault, Boris here, and Glenroy, I like Boris the most. I think it's just because he survives and you learn the most about him, and you kind of get to enjoy his personality the most, but he is my favorite out of them all. Of course, then there's Patrick Stewart, bless his face. But still.
Damn it! The gate is barred from the other side. A trap!
What about that side passage back there?
Worth a try. Let's go.
I love the introduction. It's great. I even love when you come up and interact with this, it tells you that it's bad from the other side, which is exactly what he said. Instead of it just not opening, it's just that little extra bit of thought that Bethesda put into the game that I really like, right? Just say it's bad from the other side. It needs a key. It's brilliant. I would have much liked it to say bad from the other side on the bottom instead of needs a key, but, you know. So some things are a little bit too much work to ask for.
They're behind us. Wait here, sire.
So how it works is the little gate over here closes and comes up, I guess, and then the assassins attack. I'm going to make sure I don't die here.
This is the part where you fall down and bleed to death.
Ah, that backfired big
I
time.
can go no further.
Uh-oh.
You alone must stand against the Prince of Destruction. And
This
his
is not
forces.
good.
He
This
must not have the...
No, this is not good. Oh, thank you. Thank God they all died. I was very scared there. Let's take Glenroy's katana so we get the double thing. Oh man, I was like, I'm gonna die. This is not good. Dying in the tutorial is not a good way to go through it.
I must.
That's not what I meant to do. That was a little scary, not gonna lie. Awesome. Okay, so let's start the conversation with him here. Finish the tutorial.
I fail.
Just skip through all this because it's a tutorial. The sewers. Awesome. So this is the final part of the creator class system. I had a few people on my latest build video say that they want me to do builds with specific classes here, specific specializations. The issue with that is you can pick the warrior, but just by picking the warrior, that's not the best warrior specialization, like custom class, right? That's not the best way to do it. The best way to do it is to always create your own, which always create. I mean, you can name the adventurer to be whatever you want, but that's one way to do it. One thing to note, if you create the adventurer, it's whatever you had clicked on. If you want the image of your custom class to be like this warrior here, you can click on it and it'll be the warrior. If you want it to be the crusader here, you just click on it and then it'll be the crusader image. It doesn't bother me because you never really see it again. It doesn't show up again, but if you want to be it's just, you want to be picky, right? It's just something you can do. So how normal leveling works in Oblivion and how you think it would work are two completely different things. If you want to be a mage, you want to build your character the complete polar opposite to a mage. And just like if you want to build a warrior, you want to build it the complete opposite to a warrior because of the way the leveling works. It's really complicated, and I'll maybe explain it more as the tutorial, as the playthrough goes on, but it's something I'm not really going to go super duper into. But basically, even though I'm going for a combat base build with, I mean, I'll be using probably quite a bit of destruction at the beginning here, but still, picking mage bonuses will help. Picking this stuff here will increase 5% plus 5 and increase faster. This is like, I think it's like 40%. I can't remember. I said it in my build guide, but it's like a percentage increase on how fast these skills train, which is good because there's a lot of skills here. So I'm just gonna go with magic because everything else here pretty much trains extremely quickly anyways. Plus I kind of want to build a warrior type build. Endurance is a must. You can't not pick endurance. In my build guide, I don't think I did pick endurance, and that's because in my build guides I want to go more for the role-playing aspect instead of the viability aspect. Because otherwise every build would pretty much just be the same thing, except with a different race. Well, no, pretty much everything would just be a Breton, to be fair. Other than that, speed's a really good one. Looks good because it increases your your skill points, which is good and bad, but it depends on how you want to look at it. I'll probably pick speed, to be fair. Speed's a really good one to get kind of a little bit of a boost to. Although I could go for maxing strength off the beginning, which would be pretty decent too, because that'll increase the damage that I get from my weapons. I think I'll leave it at strength for now. I don't think speed will be too much of an issue, especially since like a lot of the enemies are just really fast anyways, so you can't really outrun them. We'll just go with strength, and especially since I haven't done anything else with speed. Choose your 7 major skills. So the way leveling works in Oblivion, as most of you know, you level a major skill 10 times and then you level up. And this goes for like all the major skills. So you want to pick skills that you won't normally use. So acrobatics is a horrible skill because you naturally do that. Alchemy is not a bad one, but it's not great either. It depends on how much you're going to use alchemy. But like I said, armor is really good. You can choose when you level up with that one. Let's see what else is pretty decent in here. Hand-to-hand's not too bad. Mercantile is an amazing one because you can level Mercantile just by selling individual items. So say you have a stack of 100 arrows, you just sell each individual arrow one at a time, and then you end up with like 100 Mercantile like by the snap of your fingers because it goes up by how many transactions you make, not how big the transaction is. Mysticism's pretty good as well, but I kind of want to avoid picking magical objects if possible. Speechcraft is a decent one. Okay, so I've kind of gone through and picked out my 7 skills. I picked one from, I think I picked one from each major attribute. I'll go through and check that in a second, but I picked one from each one. I made a debate like on kind of, I was sitting here for a while thinking, should I go with heavy armor, should I go with armor? I'm never going to wear heavy armor. I might need to repair stuff, what's better. So basically, I just kind of went through, picked a few that I thought that I was never going to use or what I deemed to be the best in this situation for this build. I'll go through them with you guys now just so you have a general idea of what I'm creating. So we've got Alteration. I pretty much never use this as a spell class. It's not something I use a lot of. Or I'm not going to be using a lot of in this build, should I state. Armor, like I said before, repairing stuff, I can pay someone to do it unless I really need to. Blunt, I'm easy enough to just avoid those specific weapons. Light armor, this one's for speed. It's annoying because the other two for speed are acrobatics and athletics. Even though I want to wear a lot of light armor, I could do heavy armor instead. Even though I said I'm never gonna wear it, I thought I could do heavy armor instead of light armor, to balance my leveling a bit better. And it'll be annoying, but there's not much else I can do about that. And then I got Mercantile, which would be for personality. Security, which was for agility and speechcraft, which is also personality. Which one have I missed? Alteration, that's willpower. Armor, that's endurance. Blunt strength. Light armor, speed. Mercantile. I'm missing intelligence. Intelligence is conjuration, mysticism, and alchemy. So we'll drop Mercantile and we'll pick up mysticism. Yeah, because I'll probably never use mysticism either. We'll see. Night Eyes are useful. I think Night Eyes mysticism, but Night Eyes a pretty useful one. So this is what I'm going with. I sat here, debated for way too long on what build I should do. It's something I love doing. I really enjoy the small, minute things. Like at the beginning of games, I focus way too much on character creation and construction than I should. But this is what I'm going with. So I picked one skill from each attribute class to allow for the best leveling. Going forward from here, we get to name the class. Now, I think you should all know what this class name is going to be. Of course, we want to be a Mythic Dweller. Of course, I guess technically all you guys are Mythic Dwellers because you're all subscribed to the channel. But anyways, yes, we want to be a Mythic Dweller. And as you can see here, Mythic Dweller has the image of the combat, the warrior here, because that's the one we selected, even though the specialization is magic and being a warrior has nothing to do with magic in law, I suppose. But we're going to create. I don't want to create now. We're going to hit done, not create, and we're going to be a Mythic Dweller.
Really? I would never have guessed.
So, after the sewers, then what?
You must get the amulet to Joffrey.
I don't know. I just thought I'd give you guys a quick teaser on what that would be like if I read stuff. I'm horrible at reading things, so now you guys have a general idea of how bad that will be and how much you guys can laugh at me butchering words, reading too fast, and mispronouncing everything when I read things going forward. So, now we can move on out of the sewers and through to the final stages of the tutorial. There's some, I guess, probably some more loot we can find down here. Woohoo, goody. I love my loot. Oh, I just got the horse armor plug-in. This is where we get just the spam of pop-ups for DLC. I wish they did these, like, kind of level-based, where depending on your level you get them. So, like, at level 5, then you'd get, like, the Battlehorn Castle prompt, and then at, like, level 10, you'll get the Frostgrave's Bag. Ignore everything I just said. Wow, that was a mispronunciation 110%. But basically what I'm saying is, depending on what level you are, it will depend on when you get the DLC prompts. Either that, and then maybe provide a way in the title screen to force these prompts, because it bugs me having to deal with all these prompts at the beginning of the game. Just hang around here for a second while that goes away. Okay, I think that's them all. Okay, my longsword, and this is the character, basically the Man of Steel. Well, the goblins come out. That's not normally how this goes, but we'll see. Let's hit him with our bow and a poison. We'll use my new poison, the one that I shouldn't have named but did. And Cowabunga. That did a lot less damage than I was hoping. Oh, it's the damage over time, isn't it? Never mind. And he didn't even know where I was. That's brilliant. And he dies before he even gets to me. That is not Flare. It's the second time that that's happened. Oh yeah, my destruction, I probably leveled up destruction so much. Where is it here? So destruction levels up willpower. So I should probably stop leveling it, but like I said, I'm not even going to be leveling willpower, but like I said, I'm not really in much of a... Can I go through here? No, how's it? I've never tried to go through there before, so there should be another goblin down here somewhere. Oh my god, this goblin is nuts. Yeah, he's a goddamn berserker. Jesus. He's flying everywhere. Hang on, this is some damage. Do I have another poison? Let's see what we're looking at here. Damage fatigue. That'll work. This guy's nuts. And now I shouldn't have much of an issue if he's... I don't know how much fatigue this guy has, but he's not exactly doing a lot of damage, so I'm assuming I drained a decent amount of it. We'll see. Oh well. Garlic, silver nugget, beautiful. I should loot the other goblin too. I'm pretty sure I didn't loot this one. It's more efficient to loot it on when I'm going over there to leave. What's in here? Should be a chest in here, isn't there? There we are. More arrows and lockpicks. Alright, should be close to like 100 arrows now or something stupid like that. Yeah, 93 arrows in the tutorial. Arrows are so easy to come by. You don't even have to do any of the glitches. Yeah, there's so many of them. Just more rat meat. Oh. Heavy armor increased. I love how I'm saying I'm never going to wear heavy armor, and then I build my character around needing to do it to level efficiently, and I'm wearing heavy armor at the time of me saying I'll never wear heavy armor. That's just brilliant. Of course I'm going to do it that way. I love how I can wait around the corner with a sewer rat 2 seconds away from me, but, you know, we're all good. I can wait there around the corner with the sewer rat right there, but I'll be in the middle of nowhere with no enemies anywhere near in sight. Some mud crab hiding in the sand or something, and I can't wait. I have to go forever away. I just get that done. So this is it. This is the end of the tutorial. This is normally where I'd make a save, so I may as well grab a new save here anyways. I can just use this in the future. I don't have to scroll so much, but pop a save here, and then, because you can do all the editing here, and then you're good to go. This is it. This is the end of the tutorial. I guess the end of this episode of the Let's Play. I guess good thing I loaded a save here. I don't know if I can exit that menu, but still. In the next episode, we will leave the sewers, and we will start doing something. I don't know what you guys want to do. Let me know what you guys want to see me do in the next episode, and we'll get right into that. I'll come up with some nice creative way to make a cool intro. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This is something new. This episode's probably a lot longer than the other ones will be. I'll probably shorten the other ones down. I'm not too sure exactly how long I've been recording, but it's probably been really long because I probably spent a lot of time explaining a lot of things I didn't need to explain, and probably did a really bad job at explaining them as well. But so, one, I apologize for the extremely long length of this Let's Play. I imagine it's extremely long. And two, I hope you guys all enjoyed. If you did, please let me know in the comments what you enjoyed, what you disliked about this, and how I can improve it in the future. If you're new to the channel and you just watched this video, I make guides and tutorials, so feel free to subscribe, hit the like button and all that other stuff, and I don't know, Fortnite V-Bucks. Have a good one, guys. I'm Taylor Jacobs. Bless Paku.